Most of the people just go to the gym, grab a barbell without much thought and start lifting. But there is a big mistake. You can get way more gains just by using a different grip. You might think to yourself that the difference between a thumbless grip and a regular grip can't be that big. After all, it's just a thumb, right? Well, you would be surprised, because on some exercises the thumbless grip is an absolute game changer. That's why in this video we'll look into which grip you should use for your pressing exercises and for your back exercises. Let's start with the pressing exercises. First, we need to talk about the pros and cons of both of the grips when used on some kind of pressing exercise like the bench press or the overhead press. The main benefit of the regular grip, so the grip that uses a thumb, is the safety it gives you and that it's very beginner friendly. What I don't like about the regular grip is that it causes your hands to turn inwards, which will make your elbows flare out a little more, which then creates an internal rotation of the shoulder, which is not the case for the thumbless grip. And that's a big reason for why I like it so much. Because when you are using a thumbless grip, your hands are turning more outwards, which will prevent your shoulders from internally rotating, while also allowing you to get a way better tuck, because the thumbless grip puts your elbows directly under the bar, which is crucial for pressing a lot of weight. But there is one very big negative about the thumbless grip, which surrounds the thumbless grip with a lot of controversy. You might guess what the controversy is about when I tell you that the thumbless grip is also known as a suicide grip. Any idea of why it has this kind of nickname? Well, it's not that hard to guess. Because you are pressing without using a thumb, there is nothing that is preventing the bar from slipping directly on your chest. There are some pretty brutal videos of people dropping like 400 pounds on their chests, and I'm not even going to play one of them because it's really hard to look at. Plus, it will make you scared to bench press ever again. I remember when I was starting out and I saw a video of some guy doing the leg press, and he overextended his legs just a little bit too much and both of his legs bent into the opposite direction. Ever since I saw that video, I was absolutely terrified every time I did the leg press. Sure, it's good to know what you shouldn't be doing, but mentally blackmailing yourself and then waking up in cold sweat in the middle of the night thinking that your legs are bent in the opposite direction isn't really all that beneficial. Your mind is your sanctuary and you shouldn't be feeding it with negative events and thoughts. With that being said, I personally do both the bench press and the overhead press with the thumbless grip, which can get pretty scary sometimes, but I have been using this grip for years and luckily I never dropped it on my chest. The reason why I use the thumbless grip over the regular grip once again comes back to the regular grip forcing your shoulders into an internal rotation, which in normal circumstances wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I personally have a long-term shoulder injury that literally gives me no other choice than to do it thumbless, as it's the only way I can press a ton of weight without my shoulder exploding in the process. So would I recommend you to start pressing using the thumbless grip? Well, this of course isn't medical advice, but if your shoulder also feels weird when you're pressing, this actually might be a solution worth exploring. But only if you are not a beginner anymore and you got your form and everything else in check. If you are a beginner, then stay away from pressing like this, it's just too dangerous for you. First learn how to press normally and then you can experiment later down the road. But if you already have some experience under your belt, you might want to give it a shot. If you decide to try it out, start with lightweight and get used to the thumbless grip first. Because if you instantly jump into heavy weight, you are almost guaranteed to hurt yourself. So keep in mind that the potential benefit of pressing thumbless is very tiny, while the level of danger is huge. So proceed at your own risk. I am personally going to keep pressing that way, because it feels great on my shoulders and I feel my chest way better that way. You always have to weigh out the risk versus reward with things like this. I know that I'm very experienced, so unless I have a stroke or something, I'm probably not going to drop the bar on me. But that might not be the case for you. One random flick of the wrist and your friend will be calling 911. What also has to be said that you obviously won't be using a thumbless grip on dumbbell presses, because then the dumbbell would just fall out of your hands instantly. I feel like this is pretty obvious, but I will mention it just in case some of you start to get some funny ideas. Now let's talk about the back exercises, where it gets even more interesting. In my opinion, a lot of people would benefit from using a thumbless grip when doing any type of back exercise. There are for sure some specific scenarios where you would want to use the regular grip or any other grip for that matter, like on the deadlift for example, because you are not going to lift any real amount of weight without using your thumb. But most of the time, a thumbless grip on any vertical or horizontal back exercise will be the better choice. If you are still one of the poor souls that does the lat pulldown without the thumbless grip, then you for sure need to change that. I promise you that it will change your life. I believe that the thumbless grip is simply superior to the regular grip when it comes to almost any type of back exercise, and that's for a couple of reasons. Most importantly, it naturally puts your body into a better position to do the back exercises. I actually did a little experiment on two of my friends when they went to the gym for the first time. They both had zero experience at that time, so it was really interesting to see what is going to happen. First, I told them to do the leg pull down with the regular grip, and to no one's surprise, they both started to pull the bar towards their crotch region. I had to hold my laugh back because I didn't want to ruin the experiment, so I told them, okay, now try doing it without your thumb. And what do you know, they actually started to pull the bar more towards their chest, with the only difference being the thumb. Don't get me wrong, their form was still terrible, but it was way better than it was before. And it was all thanks to the change in grip that naturally led them to perform the leg pull down in a way better form, which is kind of incredible when you think about it. What is even more incredible is that if you are one of the folks who can't feel their back when training it, then using the thumbless grip might be just what you are looking for. Of course, it will become a little more difficult to hold onto the bar, because you won't be using your thumb, but that's not that big of an issue for most of the people. And if it is, you can just always use straps. As you can see, the thumbless grip is pretty incredible for training your back, so definitely give it a shot. And it doesn't have to be just for the leg pull downs, but also for your classic pull-ups, barbell or dumbbell rows, or any other back exercise that you like. In the end, there is no right or wrong answer when it comes to using a grip with or without a thumb. It all mainly comes down to preference and to your specific needs. I, for example, am a big fan of the thumbless grip, not only for pressing exercises and back exercises, but also for various biceps exercises like the barbell curl or the hammer curl, and many other exercises. As I always say, everyone is different, so what works for me might not work for you, and the other way around. But I want you to open your eyes to the world of possible grips that you can use to improve your workout. Because if you keep on doing the same stuff without giving it a tiny bit of thought, you will never reach your true potential. So the next time you go to the gym, instead of doing everything on autopilot, try to think about what you're doing when you're grabbing the bar, and ask yourself, why am I gripping it like this? Wouldn't it be better if I did it the other way around? I'm sure that you will make some great discoveries. If you are looking for an easy to follow training or nutrition plan, then go to bodybuildingsimplified.com and get started today. So what are you waiting for? It's just that simple. And as always, a big thanks to all the supporters on my Patreon. Did you like this video? Then you will for sure like this one too.